That old janitor, he's not supposed to touch military equipment. But the sergeant just seconds before the base's most advanced engine roared to life. What happened next would shake the entire command chain and bring a base to silence. Asterisk, the sergeant's voice cut through the cold hangar like a blade. Hey, step away from the engine. You don't have clearance to even look at that. The old man didn't answer. He just kept wiping grease from his calloused fingers, eyes steady on the humming heart of the military's newest pride, the Falcon 7 engine. Sleek, modern, built by science far newer than his bones. But the room had gone still. Technicians paused. The junior mechanics looked from the sergeant to the janitor, then quickly back to their screens. Pretending not to see what was happening, the janitor was done cleaning. He had already fixed the engine. No one was supposed to know that yet. His name was George. Just George. Nobody asked for more. His uniform didn't carry medals anymore, just a faded maintenance patch, stitched over where a Special Forces insignia once belonged. He swept floors, changed trash bags, cleaned oil spills in the same base where, decades earlier, he'd led missions no one could pronounce. The halls he now mopped had once echoed his command. George never spoke of his past, but the limp in his left leg whispered about shrapnel. His knuckles told stories of frostbite and survival. His silence wasn't awkward, it was sacred. Each morning, he arrived before dawn, smelling of pine soap and old leather. He hummed low tunes, never out loud. And when he passed the hangars, he sometimes paused, not long, just enough to remember what it was like to fly. No one noticed, or rather, no one chose to notice, until the Falcon 7 failed. It had shut down mid-diagnostics. Engineers scrambled for days. Manuals were torn through. Budgets strained. Reports flowed up the chain. The pressure mounted. Then, one morning, George paused beside the open Falcon shell. He stared. Long, too long. A young airman, fresh out of tech school, asked without looking up. "You lost?" George said nothing. He reached into a pocket, pulled out a worn wrench, his own, older than most of the crew, and with slow hands, he adjusted a pressure coil no one had thought to check. 3 clicks, 1 twist. Then he stepped back. Moments later, the engine purred like a heartbeat. The silence afterward was deafening. When the sergeant saw him beside the Falcon, fury took over. "That's government property," he snapped. "You think because you mop floors, you get to play engineer?" George didn't flinch. He looked the sergeant in the eye. Calm, steady. He didn't say a word. But someone else did. The base commander had arrived. "Who restarted the E7? He asked sharply. "He did." The sergeant pointed. "The janitor." The commander turned. And when he saw George, his breath caught. "Sergeant, do you know who this man is?" Confusion. Silence. The commander stepped forward, his voice soft now. "This man flew Black Ops missions before you were even born. He fixed jets in desert storms with no manuals. He trained the engineers who built this engine. And you just shouted at him." The sergeant's face drained of color. Words spread like fire. The next morning, George arrived as usual before dawn. But this time, he didn't push a mop bucket. It had been quietly replaced with a workbench. A fresh jumpsuit lay folded neatly on top, stitched with his old rank. Beside it, a note. Some men fix engines, others fix silence. Thank you for both. Later that week, the same sergeant who shouted was seen standing, stiff and silent, as George passed. No words, just a nod, respect, finally spoken in silence. Asterisk, the hangar never looked the same after that. Where there was once doubt, there was awe. Where there was once silence, there was now quiet respect. And George, he just kept showing up, still early, still humming, still fixing things no one else could. Asterisk, in a world loud with titles and ranks. Remember this. Sometimes the most powerful man in the room is the one no one sees. Until it matters. Let us honor the silent strength that built our future and holds it together when no one's watching. Comment where you're watching from, share your thoughts, and subscribe for more true stories of dignity, sacrifice, and unseen heroes.